I've been through the rain and I weathered the storm, I'm not looking to stop. My God sent the angels, I'm good when I move like I move with the mob. Tears in the valley, this life is a jungle, I pray to the top. Life is a marathon, I'm running to them, I'm shaking off weights and I'm done with the fear.
This is for the kingdom builders, the entrepreneurs who are called to make an impact bigger than just money alone. The ones who are overcoming trials and turning past failures into future success stories. It's for the bold who refuse to let fear overcome faith. This is Impact Kingdom. All right, Kingdom Builders. So we are on Impact Kingdom episode number 7. Today I want to talk about kind of a really powerful verse that deals with accountability. And so Proverbs 27:17 says, as iron sharpens iron, one person sharpens another. And so pretty straightforward what that means is that as we are surrounded by accountability, as we are spending time with other people who not only can we help sharpen, right? We can help build up, we can help improve, but they can also help sharpen us and improve us. We are on the right track, right? The right track to success. And so this is something that can be missed out a lot. And I'm going to get real with you guys. I'm going to share kind of a personal story here with my battle with porn. And so, my battle with porn is something that has went on for some time. It's definitely been a struggle since middle school, to be honest with you. It's been something that I struggled with heavily, was something I didn't really take too serious. I didn't think it was a big deal because you have the world telling you that's not a big deal. Everyone does it. Everyone watches it. It's not that big of a deal at all. And I'll never forget how many times I tried to quit. Right. And it was all just by self-will. It was all about, feeling guilty after watching it and then telling myself I'm not going to do it. Then I would go periods, right? Sometimes months without watching it. And then next, I fall back into it. And it kept going on and on and on like that until I actually got real accountability, right? I reached out to a buddy of mine who's also a Christian business owner, right? A buddy in Christ, and talked to him about it. And, we got accountable, right? We downloaded something called Covenant Eyes, which if you do deal with, struggles with lust and struggles with temptation with porn, I really highly recommend you look into that because it creates this sense of accountability with it. And so I'm not going to go too much into detail on what Covenant Eyes and things like that. Just Google it, you'll find out. But, it's so crazy that for something that was such a struggle, something that we're trying to do it by self-will alone, trying to do it with willpower, all those things like just failed so much. As soon as I got accountability from another Christian, that problem was gone, right? The temptations weren't there. They're, having that accountability to know that, man, this person can see, my stuff on Covenant Eyes as well. So it's like that layer of accountability, that support system, just even admitting it, right? And talking to someone else who's also, dealt with that same struggle and overcame it. Those things took that battle away. It defeated it. And the most part about it was that it was through grace, it was through accountability, and it was not through my own willpower, right? Which is such a beautiful thing because when you realize that you can get to that place with true accountability, it makes the struggle something that is it's easy to defeat. It's easy to win this battle. And so I want to share that story with you because, maybe it's not something that's serious for you, right? Maybe it's not porn or whatever it may be. But accountability is the key for us as Christian kingdom makers, right? As people that are building businesses or are dealing in high stress, high risk environments, there are so many temptations that we deal with. Let's just start with business for one, right? There's so many temptations in business to cut corners, to, kind of take advantage, market in a way that you shouldn't be marketing, maybe develop a product in a way that you shouldn't be developing a product, trying to make more profits, things like that. There's so many opportunities in just business alone to where it's not necessarily a sin. It's not even necessarily a bad thing when you look at the world itself, but there's so many chances to kind of skew your business from being kingdom impact focused to being more about just, the bottom dollar or things like that, not treating people well. Right? So there's so many ways that you can go wrong there. And then also just deal with like the stress of the business, right? Let's be real. Like if you run a business, if you are watching this and you own a business, you know what I'm talking about when I'm talking about stress. There's a stress of making payroll. There's a stress of the bills. There's stress of taxes. There's stress of making customers happy. There's a stress of always producing, always being innovative, right? There's just all these stresses that are on top of you. And what happens is they pile up one after another. And next thing you know, we're very tempted to self-medicate. We're very tempted to turn to alcohol on the weekends. We're tempted to turn to overeating, right? We're tempted to turn to, binge watching, right? We're tempted to turn to a lot of other things that will help mask that stress. It won't take away the stress, it just masks it, right? It blocks it out, it drowns out the noise, right? Because once you've had 3 drinks in the weekend, you're not worried about all the problems that you just had in the business the previous week or that you know are coming up on Monday, right? And so there's the temptations that come from the stress and the risk that we deal with in the business itself. And so the thing that can help with this is by getting accountable, having an accountability buddy, a partner, having someone that is also walking that same path, right? Or, that is just also a person of faith, right? Having that accountability can help not fall down the wrong path when it comes to dealing with the stress and the risk of the business itself. And so what I want to give you here is kind of 3 ways to get accountable. And number 1 is probably just the simplest and most important one, is to show up at church. That's it. Just start showing up. Find a church, find a home church, find a place that you love, that your family can go to. If you don't have a family, it's just you that you can go to. But find a church and just start showing up. That's it. Don't worry about serving. Don't worry about getting into a small group, a life group, all those different things. Like, just start showing up to church and you will be amazed at how God can use that to start working. For me, it was 3 years ago that I got plugged into the church I am now. And for the first year, it was just about showing up. That was it. It was just showing up to service. There was accountability in that, right? From the lessons being learned and things like that. But the next thing you know, it starts to escalate. Next thing you know, you're serving. Next thing you know, you're doing a class. Next thing you know, you're joining community. You're meeting people, right? You're getting connections. And all this stems and starts creating accountability around your life. Because now you have eyes on you, right? Now you're more plugged in. Now you're plugged into God's word, his message every single week, his people every single week. And there is going to be a bridge of accountability from there. Now, it may not be the accountability where you're going to just come up, shake someone's hand and tell them that you're dealing with, for example, for me, you're dealing with porn struggles, right? That may not be the case, but it's still this first layer of accountability that you can get that's going to help you show up better as a person and also better as a business owner. And plus, it's kind of hard to go out and get drunk Saturday night when you have to be at church Sunday morning, right? So do the early service Sunday. That will help you out a lot there if alcohol is one of your vices. So that's the first layer. The second layer is use your spouse, right? Like, be real with your spouse. I never forget, sitting down with my wife and us just kind of going through and being real about everything we struggle with, right? And being real about, hey, I struggle with porn. And hearing her response there and getting some accountability there. And so there is accountability from your spouse, right? God gave us, a wife or a husband to improve us, right? To be able to become one, right? As he says in the Bible, to join one into one flesh, right? It's to be able to create a better person. And so you can use that, but that means that you have to actually communicate. You have to actually tell the truth. You have to open up and you have to talk about your problems, which can be tough, especially when, sometimes it feels like the business is always taking a priority or, maybe the business is creating some space between you and your spouse. This is where sharing and talking about the struggles, talking about the stress that you're dealing with, talking about the temptations that you deal with because of that stress, that's where you can realize that you have the best partner on your side that God has blessed you with, and that's your spouse. All right. And the third layer of accountability is find a fellow Christian business owner who is walking the same path, right? Find a kingdom builder, find someone that you can start to discuss with. It could be a virtual relationship, right? Because I know it's hard. It's hard to find other people who are kind of on the same path of impact that's creating businesses, being an entrepreneur, things like that, but also led by faith. So this could be someone that you met from a Facebook group. It could be someone that you met from a conference. It could be someone that you met at your church, right? Whatever it may be, find someone that is walking a similar path that you can communicate to, that you can text to, that you can frequently keep updated, that you can use to hold you accountable and you can hold them accountable as well, right? For a cheesy word, we can use that as accountability buddy or whatever you may want to call it, but just find someone walking that same path. And this is where you can deepen a relationship. You can get very personal. You can get very open and honest. And just kind of like I was with my buddy and, be open and honest about the porn. And then now next thing you know, we're doing covenant eyes together. And next thing you know, we have this transformational, we defeated the sin because of being able to find that person that you can be vulnerable with. And that's also, the reason why this is different than your spouse is because this person's also walking that same path of being a business owner, being an entrepreneur, right? They get it. They're living that life. They understand the game. And so, guys, those are 3 ways that you can get some accountability in your business, get some accountability in your life, because at the end of the day, what you don't want to happen is if you're left on your own, right, and it's just you trying to go out there and make this impact, It can steer your business in the wrong direction, steer your results in the wrong direction, and next thing you know, you're getting further and further away from making a kingdom impact versus making one with your business. All right, guys. So that's episode 7, Impact Kingdom. Super appreciate you guys for tuning in. As always, subscribe, shoot a comment, shoot me a message. We'll love to connect with you as I want to grow this community so we can make a bunch of impact builders, right? Kingdom builders, and we can all have some accountability and some extra accountability in our businesses. You guys take care.